All right guys, so I finally finished renovating my freaking garage. Hey buddy, are you gonna come lay with me? All right, Calvin's gonna join us for this video, I guess. So I've done a couple videos in the past about my renovation process of the garage. The last time I posted an update was, it's taken a long time, I'm not gonna lie. So I'm just gonna go over the renovation process really quick, talk about how much it costs in case you guys ever buy a house and wanna renovate your garage. And it's honestly just kind of for me to kind of see the before and afters of my house because I think it's kind of cool to see what I've done to it. So I started renovating way back, like right when I bought this house. I bought this house in about mid-March, I believe. And I moved in at the beginning of April. That's when I started renovating the garage. And you're like, wow, Brandon, you're just now getting done with that? Yes. Just me and my dad were doing it. We didn't hire any contractors. We did it all ourselves. And so it took forever because it was like only weekends and then it wasn't every single weekend. And then there would be times where we would just like ran into problems and then we have to wait another couple, like, you know what I mean? Like it's just one of those things, but we got it done. And that's also why the price is going to be probably lower than if you were to hire somebody, which I will talk about in a little bit. So now what you've been waiting for, I can proudly show you guys the before and the after. All right, I moved the camera down so that you can see Calvin while I'm talking. So before I started this renovation, I thought it was gonna cost me $724 to do it. So let's see where I ended up. So to start, my garage was just studs other than some crappy drywall on one side and some random like plywood and stuff boarded all around. There's no ceiling, nothing, no insulation, all of that good stuff. So first thing you did is rip everything out and then we built down the ceiling on one side, so I had to buy some studs. That cost about $28 to buy studs to reframe the ceiling down a little bit on the backside. After that, we just bought some insulation, installed it everywhere to keep the garage warm, including the ceiling, all that good stuff. So that cost me around $160 total. There was only about one light switch on the wall, so we ran some wires, put in a bunch of new outlets, so that if I ever need to plug anything around the garage, I can do that. And so the wire plus all the outlet covers that I had to buy for when we're done, when we put them on the wall, and just like some other miscellaneous kind of small things like that, that cost me around $51. After this, we put up the drywall. I did use moisture resist drywall since it is a garage, so it was a little bit more expensive. But in the end, this was my biggest expense and it cost $263. So after that, we had to tape all the seams, mud everything, sand everything, do that multiple times. That was probably one of the worst parts, to be completely honest. And then after that, you know, we did priming, bought, you know, a big commercial grade, like 5-gallon bucket of primer, and then we painted it twice. I had to buy paint rollers, paint brushes, like, I mean, you know, all that stuff. So that cost me a total of $165. So after that, we noticed there was some bowing on the concrete where the concrete poured went like this. And so we just took some old 1-bys, painted them white as well, and put trim around the whole thing so that you can't see the gaps between the drywall and the floor. We did the same thing on the ceiling. We trimmed around a scuttle hole that we made so we can get into the attic if we ever need to. And that's honestly about it. It sounds pretty easy, but everything took longer, you know? I was like, oh, this is gonna be easy. And then it took days to finish something. So overall, that total comes to $667 as my expense for this garage. So with the $667, I had to pay tax on all that, so the 7% tax, but then also, because I shopped at Menards this whole time, everything was on an 11% rebate, so I ended up getting 11% back for all my purchases. So in the end, the total came out to $635 to renovate my garage. That is almost $100 less than I thought it was gonna cost. There was a lot of stuff that I didn't include in here because I personally didn't buy, but like, I think my mom bought like 2 cans of paint. Then the fact that like that trim I talked about putting on there, like that was just scraps from my dad. A lot of tools that we used. My dad just had certain tools, whether they were drywall screws or certain tools just to get the job done that maybe you would have to buy on your own if you were doing this. So I think that realistically, if you were doing this yourself, it would cost $700 at least. And remember, like I said, me and my dad did this all by ourselves. Luckily, he knows how to do all this, so it didn't cost. And if you hired someone to do it, they usually say labor is like the most expensive part of stuff. So I would say at least double that price of whatever your materials are gonna cost and double it. And that's probably a good like starting base of what it might cost to have someone do it, but I'm not too sure. Maybe do your research on contractors because I don't really know anything about that. If I were to say whether or not you can do your garage by yourself, I would say it's actually pretty easy. Like most of the stuff's kind of not common sense, but it's kind of like, it just like makes sense, right? You know, you put mud on the cracks and you smooth it out and then you sand it and you make it try to be flat, like, and just painting, and you know, with insulation, you just like unroll it in the walls. It's pretty simple stuff. Yes, I would say it's nice having someone there who knows what they're doing so you don't totally mess everything up, but most of the stuff is pretty straightforward as long as you're willing to try it out. I think anyone can do it. It's just, it can be labor intensive. The sanding and mudding on the ceilings was just like awful, but it's definitely doable. So once again, you can see the before and after, what $635 can do to your garage. And now, of course, you know, since I painted my whole garage white and did all that stuff, my doors look really out of place. So now I'm gonna have to paint my doors, which I didn't put in this video because I'm just gonna do that at some point whenever, and it's already been like, what, 8 months, 9 months, whatever it is, since I started this project. And I really just wanna like put a close stamp on it, because that's what you realize when you're a homeowner. It's just like projects never end and you just get new projects and et cetera, et cetera. So whatever, that's all I got for you guys. Just wanted to give you an update. Wanted to log this for myself, and I will see you guys next time. Can you say bye, Calvin? Say bye to everybody. Yeah. See you guys. Can you do it? Wait, I'm gonna have Calvin do the, and I will see you next time. Yeah, good job.